Good morning. It is a hot, humid morning. You walk out the door and the heat just kind of hits you in the face. So, last night I edited a beautiful video, my first garden tour. I'm so proud of it. And then we had some memory and exporting issues, and I lost 90% of the footage. I am going to do a garden tour again, but I'm going to do it with a voiceover because Janelle's not here to camera for me, so I can't be in it. But I'll pretty much say everything that I had said in the beginning. To show everybody this melon that is in my tunnel. It's coming out. I have a hole, I guess. Yeah, I have a hole. This plastic, I mean, it only lasts a year or two, even if you baby it. Let's do a garden tour. These are some late beans that I sowed. I had garlic in here until about June. Sowed some late beans. And I was given these walking onions. I was so pumped for these walking onions. And they just look like they do not want to be here. If anyone knows a little bit about walking onions, please enlighten me. The deal with those is that friends gave them to us, me and Janelle, but they were out of the ground for like 7 days. And then we got them and then planted them. So they didn't even get in the ground till like day 8. I tried to move some tomatoes because we're having issues in our tunnel. I'm not sure if I'm going to talk about that at the end of this video or in a separate video. We're going to have to see just how long this garden tour is. This is my fish pepper. We have our asparagus patch. If you look, this is ground cover. And it's even popping up through there. This was a tree. And it keeps, the stump keeps sprouting. So I put ground cover over it and it looks like it's even sprouting. Put the beans here to replace nitrogen in the soil. If I get something from them, that is great. This guy is a volunteer pumpkin, but he had vine borer damage. So he had a stem that went all the way to there. I had to cut it. But you can see where the mulch is. That's where he rerooted, and he's doing so much better. I thought he was going to die, but he did doing a lot better. And creeping up this mulch is our watermelons. These watermelons, I saved the seed from. There were some workers at our grandma's house, and they spit watermelon seeds into her garden. They were taking a lunch break, and there's the first watermelon of the season. Happy birthday, we're glad you're here. So they spit seeds into her garden and she had about 20-30 watermelon. We got many of them. I saved the seeds. She didn't water them. We just let the rain come. We did not particularly have a wet summer that year, but man, great, easy growing watermelon. This is my sweet potato bed. We live in the South. We're gardening upstate South Carolina, Zone 7B. And this is sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes love our soil. We don't have to do anything to grow sweet potatoes. Just, broad forking or just, fluffing up the ground to scooch is a good idea. Sweet potato flowers. Now, sweet potatoes are a morning glory family. So they have some very similar flowers. Aren't they pretty? I have a little fence around here because I'll show you our property. We have woods all the way around our property. The bunny rabbits come and eat our sweet potato vines. And they will just eat the leaves right to the end and ends up killing the vines. This is a loofah. I am excited to grow this loofah. And it is just taking off like crazy. I got another one on the other T-post. I'm hoping it's going to go over this cattle panel and have lots of loofahs. I direct sowed the loofah well past our last frost date. We have a very long growing season. I put a mason jar over it, watered it good, made a little greenhouse, and I hardened it off by taking the mason jar on and off, because I've read and researched that loofahs don't like to be moved. So, worked out well for me. Another loofah right here. You can see battling with a sweet potato vine to climb. I might have to take that sweet potato vine down. And here's my okra. And you can see the pest damage on this poor okra. This okra, it's at the point where like I need to do something. I'm not sure what kind of pest it is. Hey! Shh. I'm not sure what kind of pest it is. I have an essential oil spray for like aphids and things like that. If I have to spray neem oil, I will. I don't like spraying neem oil a lot because it does disrupt the ecosystem. This zinnia, I pinched it and it just bushed out like crazy. I'm really excited. Zinnias just have my heart. So we've got more ground cherries. I thought this was a melon. This is a cucumber. Last year I was able to do enough cucumbers that I did all our pickles and relish for the year. And that was just really nice. We've got cantaloupes. Lots of cantaloupes. I actually cold sowed these cantaloupes. I saved these from we got like a farm box. And we saved the seed from them. This spider, I am so glad that she is in the garden. I have seen her eat a good handful of squash bugs for me. I'm really glad she's here. So our winter squash, this is a butternut honey nut from Baker Creek. It's making a lot of fruit, and it was the first thing in the garden to produce fruit, but I don't think I'll trellis it next year. Over here is our Boston pickling cucumber. I like them okay. I think I'm going to go with a longer cucumber next year. The Boston pickling are good though. They're producing a lot. We've had about 4 or 5 this year already. Some vine borer damage on some pumpkins. These nasturtium are supposed to be vining, but they seem like they're bushing. But we'll let them go and see what happens. This volunteer pumpkin's doing really great. Now these beans, we've had some contaminated soil issues. We've had weed killer in the soil, a herbicide. It targets legumes and nightshades. That's the same thing that's going on in our tunnel. And you can see the wrinkly leaves and the gnarly growth. And these beans are just growing very slow. I can barely get enough for a meal's worth of beans, and there's about 30 plants here. Pole beans should be doing more than that by now. So because of that, I think I'm going to pull them out. I have fertilized them, I have compost teed them, and I think that they're just going to have to go, and I'll just put cucumbers in. Now in this corner over here, I had radishes. And then I planted beans after I pulled the radishes, and they don't seem to be quite as wrinkly. You see the curl on the leaf, and it's curl on the new growth is what you're looking for. But these ones don't really have curl on the new growth, maybe a teensy bit. But just that block I had radishes in. See a little bit of curl on the new growth, but not much. Okay guys, so this is my tunnel. This has, it had all my tomatoes. I have recently moved tomatoes. So all my tomatoes and peppers, and I had some beans in there, and a few other things like dinosaur kale and Malabar spinach and things like that, but it's pretty much tomatoes and peppers. I want to do a whole separate video talking about what happened to the soil, what it's done to the plants, and what I'm going to do in my plan to fix it. And part of my plan is using that space over there. Having the passion to learn gets us through hard times. We appreciate you taking an interest in our passion, and we are so grateful for you watching and helping us grow. We'll see you on the next one.